You want to eyeball it? Don't ever fly a plane. Oh, yeah. Right.
But I love Boeing's.
Unbelievable.
I love Boeing's excuse. Well, it's not our fault. We didn't even tell them it changed.
What was the FAA? What did the FAA say? There was like some very vague wording that they used before they said, all right, stop using the planes.
I didn't see
They
it.
had known about this
too much. Yeah, I fly
for
too
a
much.
very long time. And then all of a sudden, because the wording was very vague, and then all of a sudden they were like, all right, ground them all. And now it's a nightmare.
It is one of
No
those
one's going
weird
anywhere.
things where you're like, you know what? This unhinged tweet from the president makes a lot of sense. You know those moments? Like I've had that a bit after the shocking Christchurch attack. I've had a lot of politicians that I'm normally like,
Right.
just shut up. I found myself being, yeah, he's right.
Yeah.
You know?
Boy.
Yeah.
Did you see...
But then the other side, I'm like, I was so right about you. You're fucked.
Did you see Trump's tweet about the pilots and about the planes flying themselves?
Sometimes simple is better.
On computer. Sometimes it was better. There was a
that
Will
on there?
McPhail cartoon. And this came to pass.
That's
and he
right.
posted it and he goes, and so it is.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
it comes to pass.
what was the joke? It was something about elites.
It was the who wants
the pilots are out of touch.
Yeah, pilots are out of touch
something
with
like
us
that.
passengers. Who wants me to fly the plane?
Yeah, that was great. Really
Which
nice
was
joke.
2016 or something,
Yeah.
and then it's finally come to pass.
I sadly think that joke's gonna be around for a while.
Oh, it's an evergreen, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, by the way. This is I don't know. This is not my
Yeah, this is the
Place.
podcast where we come up with cartoons for the New Yorker. We have a live show coming up in New York City on the
9th of April.
9th of April.
Tickets through caveat.nyc.
Yeah. And to my friends who I'm sure are going to be there on the 8th, because that's what I've repeatedly told them. So there'll be, look, here's what I can guarantee you. There'll be at least 10 extra seats available.
And a lot of hungover people on the 9th.
Yeah, exactly.
Caveat NYC, we've got a very, very big special guest that night. It's a big live show. Big old movie star. It's going to be awesome. Tickets are moving, so grab them, caveat.nyc or bit.ly. bit.ly/It's It April 9. Just go to caveat.nyc. I don't know why I say this.
It's
I'm trying to
always
make it
the way
easier.
with those bit.lys.
trying to make
I'll
it
get a
easy.
bit.ly. It's going to be a lot more, and it's
Never is.
no.
Because everything's taken. Everything's taken already. Every bit.ly's taken. It's
yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't want it to be like, I'm sure there are some, but I wouldn't go to a show which was like bit.ly/anal blasters. Like I wouldn't go to that
Speak
show.
for yourself, mate. I think It's even taken, which sucks.
Really?
Yeah. Itsitpodcast.com, by the way. We have a website now. It just goes straight to the podcast. Itsitpodcast.com.
Way to sell it.
Yeah, right? Just go straight to the podcast. And so live show, what else was I meant to? I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, we have a second live show
We
in
have a
May.
second
We'll
live
plug
show
that
in
in
May.
a different time.
Yeah.
We got one in. The New Yorker.
Oh yeah, that's
It
right.
was the mocap Melania that you would have heard us talking about in the last episode.
I did the most classic me. We were talking about like just the last couple of days we've been talking about. Oh, that's such classic Scott move. Like the most classic Scott move was throughout all of last week's episode. We're like, oh yeah, mocap soup. Oh yeah, it's a mocap thing. And I was like, oh yeah, mocap. I know what it is. The second you left my apartment, I googled mocap. I was like, oh, motion capture.
You were nodding like you knew what I was talking about.
Totally.
You're like, yeah, mocap. What the
I
fuck
am that guy though that will hear someone use an anagram, not know what it is, and then just try to. The worst one is
Try to figure it out while
is
they're
when I
talking.
hear kids say shit on the street because I live near, every place I live is always near a high school because I'm not
Wait a minute,
very
what?
wealthy. Yeah, so I always
That's
have to
not
live
why.
near a school. So, but every time I hear kids saying shit as they're walking home and then I try to use it,
Right.
and I do it with such little conviction it never works. so I'm always like, oh man, that barman dead ass got my drink order wrong, right?
That doesn't work.
And then I'm straight onto Urban Dictionary. And again, if you want to find out about anal blasters, every single thing in the world, someone has it. It's a sex thing.
Oh,
Every single
100%.
thing.
Every single word, there's
Yeah.
a sex word for it.
Yeah.
Amy Baker, who listens to the show, sent us an acronym of her own this week, which I had to decipher.
Okay. But ITAPMJIT. Is there a potential...
Look down. Go down on my message.
Wait.
What I've said.
You've said, what is that acronym? Is there a praying mantis joke in this?
Funny.
That's great.
She's gone the full acronym on us.
Yeah.
Never go full acronym.
And Amy, thanks to your message and that dead air, your new nickname is Handbrake Baker. Her ability to
I was
bring
expecting that
the
to go way differently.
the most flowing. Listen, I think Amy's dodged a bullet there, considering I've been saying nothing but anal blasters for the last 4 minutes.
Well, I think we have an episode title. How you been this week?
Yeah, all right. I don't know. Nothing's really.
Nothing really happened in the last week. We had a few drinks on Saturday night. That was
did.
fun.
Yeah,
That was
we
good.
did.
Yes.
Just
Just last minute bump into each other in the middle of New York City drinks.
That's right.
Just out of the blue. That was fun.
Yeah. Well, it was. I know it was a good night because I remember hearing 2 last calls.
Oh yes, we did get to last calls.
So that's always a sign.
That is a good sign of a good night. We had an Uber driver. You know where, I don't know if you do this, but when you scroll down while you're in the Uber to see what they have put in their about section.
I've never done that in my life.
We've done this on the show before where, remember we found that rapper slash...
Oh,
like,
you had, yeah.
This is who I had in the Uber.
Oh, actor, producer, entrepreneur, healer.
Can you imagine how the Uber smelled?
I'm going to say, a lot of lavender, right?
A lot of lavender.
Yeah.
Please take a water, I insist.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now, if you could do all 4 of these things, if you could act,
Yep.
produce, make money, and heal, what order?
Why are you driving an Uber?
Yeah.
Yeah, what order? Yeah, exactly. You're not healing first, are you?
That's great.
You're healing because of the other things.
4.92 stars.
Not bad.
That's pretty good.
She had chips and water, which is pretty good as far as New York goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad Uber. We got a weird Uber home.
What was what was dangling from the Dreamcatcher?
Yeah, Dreamcatcher.
Really?
Oh, you've had it too, have you? Yeah.
Doesn't fill me with hope.
This is just duly intuition.
Doesn't fill me with hope if someone's planning on falling asleep.
Oh, good point.
You know what I mean?
Good point.
Are they going to get a Native American to the scene of the crime to go, well, maybe if we can remember what she was dreaming, we'll have an idea as to the nature of the...
Oh, my
Oh, it's
God.
any wonder she crashed. She thought she was being attacked by a shark.
And her teeth were falling out. What? She kept having that same dream.
If you look at the skids, it's quite impressive. She went full 200 meters.
So I've got, I don't know, I feel like this week with jokes, like we got one in Mad Magazine last week as well, apropos
that's
of
right.
the USC, well, the bribery scandal.
Isn't that been fun?
Oh, and it's an ongoing story.
Well, the fact that anyone's in the slightest bit surprised.
No, I mean, yeah, really? You don't think that rich people pull strings to get shit? Really? You're that surprised?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stupid.
You've met rich people before. You have come into contact with them.
Right.
They're not getting anywhere. They're not getting into the Ivy League on merit.
No. Did you see? I think it was Lori Loughlin's daughter. She doesn't have the qualification. She's a makeup tutorial YouTube
I think
star,
I like
an
describing her as
influencer.
school-hating influencer.
School-hating influencer. It is weird. I think Bill Maher probably had the one of my favorite jokes of that whole scandal, which was Lori Loughlin's daughter, who is a makeup tutorial YouTube influencer. She got into USC, a double major of Red Bull and vodka. It's been a very strange.
It's not
week.
a very it's not a prestigious school.
Well,
is it?
it's one of the bigger ones, certainly for sports, but I think
It's a
it's
sporty place,
Yeah,
yeah.
but it's all about the parties. Big one for
Right.
parties. So we submitted one, which was the
hell of a cover charge.
Yes, indeed. I was actually wondering if there was something in there being it's probably a bit late now, but you know how student loans, people take out student loans and they're crippled with student loan debt.
Yeah.
Now they're taking out student bribery debt. So like they've got
Yeah,
a
that's
student
an
bribe loan.
interesting. Yeah, I don't mind that.
It's a new expense that students have to incur to get into a school
Yeah.
and then pay for the school
Yeah.
after the fact.
Yeah, there's something.
Yeah.
There is funny, like your student loan officers, just like it's clearly a standover man.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
It's a good thing you studied medicine because I'm here to break your legs.
You and I were talking. I was in the back of, speaking of Uber, I was in the back of an Uber on the way to a work thing. And I was literally putting this joke together as I was in the back of the car. And we were talking, you identified the fact that the Trojan, who is the, I guess the mascot for USC, looks just like the American Express card guy, the Centurion guy.
That's the joke we landed on, right?
Yeah. And so we did a USC style card with the Trojan. And I pitched it as an American Express card to Mad. And then they took it, they were like, oh, this is great. This is Italian chef kissing fingers good. And then their art department jumped onto it and made it even better.
I was going to say their color choicing, was really strong.
Yeah.
And they changed the logo. Yeah, I think they did really well.
Elevated the joke, which is really cool. Yeah.
It's also nice when that, it's a little kind of inside baseball.
Well, that's the pod.
That's literally the podcast. It's always nice when that happens because it kind of, it softens you for the next time. Because I know that, and I'm the worst for this out of the two of us, of if someone makes a suggestion to a joke that we've come up with, my back goes right up and I'm like, no, this is our thing, fuck off. But when someone does come and bring something to the table, which is better, that you kind of lower your defenses for the next time. And I think it's better to have that more collaborative.
It is better.
To a point, though, because you also can't let yourself just get run roughshod over.
Well, exactly. And you still have to put your name to it if they edit
it
beyond recognition of what you pitched. So, and that's happened before.
But you've taken your name off things
I
before.
have, because they either changed a gag or I just wasn't comfortable putting my name on it. Yeah. To that point, I really shouldn't have even drawn the thing. But at that point, it was
you do such a great Prophet Muhammad. I mean, it had to be.
I felt it was a wasted opportunity otherwise.
A check's a check, am I right?
Why do I sound like Groucho Marx when I say, a check's a check, am I right?
Because you see?
Jesus Christ. A check's a check, see? Oh, my God. Yeah. Thank you, by the way, to everyone who sent in comments.
The praying mantis things.
Captions for the praying mantis.
I had a couple.
Crackers in there.
So now, if you haven't seen it, Jason put up a picture of a praying mantis at a bar sitting next to another headless praying mantis, and then we wanted you to come up with the caption.
Because you've all sent in such good ones over the last year.
And it's also one of these things of like, we got so many responses that it was a case. It was almost like, well, this is your funeral, Chatfield. Like, R.I.P. You're mentioned. I'm gonna put in my my two that I put in just on your Instagram.
I thought they were great.
Because I rarely Instagram.
Very strong contenders, yeah.
So one of them was the guy, the non-headless guy saying, I see the date went well, which is a bit CSA. I didn't really like that. This is the one I did like, but it's so baudy it could never be used anywhere.
Which one?
Don't come crying to me. God gave you 6 hands for a reason.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah,
that's a really funny
joke.
one. I might just even pitch that as in a batch.
Suburban Freud, which is a fantastic Instagram name, by the way. But is your heart in it too? I thought that was a lovely joke.
Very nice.
A lot of kind of like, did you get a head job and stuff? Yeah. Of Center had, I bet it was mind blowing, which I thought was quite good.
Yes.
Yeah.
There were some really, really good ones.
Yeah, there were some very, very good ones. I'm just trying to say. Sorry, excuse me doing this because I've got them all. Peace to Jed Dunstan, who had clearly had a few drinks and just kept
quantity over quality.
I've been
my
there.
friend.
No, I've been there. That's
you just get on a roll and you're like, no. What about this? What about this? I call that writer's room head.
I like this one from Bradley Kenneth on Facebook, which was, you didn't tell me you were leaving the seminary. I thought that was a really nice, nice joke.
Anything that implies a backstory, I love because you get to fill in the blanks. Yeah, I really like that.
Jed Dunstan, you know that wicked cool cowboy hat you've got? ... I did like that. I don't know about the wicked cool, but I just have, you know that cowboy hat you have? ... I just liked that.
Yeah. I do like that indeed.
David Stewart had a few good ones as well. There were some very, very good ones. And then, of course, Handbrake Baker that just went above.
Above and beyond.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really is. We have the best listeners in the world because they're not just listeners. They also actually happen to have some pretty good chops in terms of writing jokes.
Yeah.
There's
So
a
that
lot
was
going
there
on.
were some good ones. Check them out on Jason's Insta and
Now,
the Facebook.
Is there one person in particular you thought absolutely nailed it?
Oh, look, I think if I'm being honest, I'd say it was probably me. So what do I win?
I did say it would save me on postage.
I think Suburban Freud with "But Is Your Heart in It Too."
Fantastic.
I thought that was my favorite.
That is great.
What was yours?
That was mine as well.
Oh, great.
I think I
Okay.
told that was mine as well. So congratulations.
Well done.
We'll send you the original. I'll DM you and get your details. We'll post you the original in the mail and give you 2 passes to the live show on April 9th. Hopefully you're in New York. If not, fly to New York for the show in order to redeem your 2 free
I'm going to
passes.
say it's a real Egg Boy scenario. You're on the guest list for life.
How good was Egg Boy? Can we talk about Egg Boy for a second?
My buddy.
Oh my god.
So
This is so
I've
good.
made. His name's Will Connolly. This kid.
Oh, he's got a name.
And I've made the point that if you go to any gig, any live music event without a ticket,
Yeah.
just try your luck and say, "Yeah, I'm Will
I'm Egg Boy."
Connolly. I'm Egg Boy."
Just say I'm Egg Boy. You're going to get in. There was, within seconds of this video surfacing, there were it was, this just popped up. Egg Boy will donate money raised for him to victims of the Christchurch terror attacks.
yeah.
He gets better every day, this kid.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Egg Boy.
He's not the Egg Boy we deserve, but he's the Egg Boy we need.
I did actually draw a little logo of him.
I saw that.
That's been picked up by a few, places. Also, idiotically, I was trying to draw for our merch at the request of one of our listeners. I was trying to draw Russell Flowe. Which was an Eminem and Russell Crowe
I just feel
matchup.
like our listeners are now just bossing you around.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm a real pushover with our wonderful
Just
listeners.
like,
At the behest of our listeners. And if they don't buy this merch, I'm going to be very angry because I spent time drawing Russell Flowe. And in trying to find a reference for him, I found one where he looks like Peter Russell Clark.
Russell Crowe, yeah.
Do you know why? This loops back. He's playing, and this is, I don't know why he has the beard in this, but he's massive right now. He's playing Roger Ailes for a TV movie.
Oh, fantastic.
Do you remember I auditioned for that?
Oh, yeah.
I did. And so now I've seen photos of him on
This
set.
is one of these things, like,
Yeah.
and this happens in America, is you go for an audition.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, so who'd they go with? They go, Ryan Gosling. You're like, oh, so I was really in the fucking mix. That was a wasted afternoon.
Yeah, I see ads every day that I audition for. I'm like, I had no chance.
Yeah.
Wasn't even close.
yeah.
What a broad call that was. I did one today for Papagenos.
That's just the cast of Black Panther. Why did I go?
I did one for Papagenos
I can think
today.
of 2 reasons I wasn't going to get that.
Yeah, there's no way. And they're like, they said Italians. And then my manager sent me, I'm like, why am I here?
Great.
Everyone in the room is Italian.
You always know when you walk in if you look like no one.
Yeah.
It's like, I've got this or I don't stand a chance.
Yeah, it's
And
always the
then,
second
Can you
one for
speak
me.
Afrikaans? I'll show myself out.
But I'll take a muffin.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll take a complimentary muffin. So what do you got this week for jokes?
Okay, I'm just going to go.
Thin as a rake.
This is, oh man, it's.
You're an
yeah.
embarrassment to society.
Listen, this. I'm just going to say, this pile is so thin, it wouldn't even be allowed to walk at Paris Fashion Week. That's how thin this is.
Have you been in LA? Because your pile is thin.
Yeah, it's got a coke problem, this one. All right.
All right. Well, let's see what you
Okay,
got.
so a doctor walking out of the room with the patient sat up
Okay.
on the bench in the gown,
Yep.
clipboard, just leaving the room saying, I'll give you some time to speculate wildly while I get the results.
That's funny. No, that's good. All right.
It's okay.
Thin is thin, and then you get some pearlers in there, and it doesn't matter. That's a solid joke.
So I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption.
No, not you.
Yeah. And
Whiskey bottle dually.
yeah,
Just sitting there playing poker in there, not actually doing missions, just sitting in the bar.
Exactly. No, I've just
playing
been
poker.
fishing. I've been fishing and playing.
Classic.
My guy
Unbelievable.
he's living the life of a retiree.
Got no XP
No, nothing.
on anything except fishing.
He to the point where I haven't been playing the game for so long that one of the characters from the game found me and said, "Hey, me and some of the other guys are worried about you.
There's a posse.
Are you
going to
come back to
find
the
you."
camp?"
That's great.
And I was like, "I'll see you in a bit."
Funny.
Fishing.
I had to look up Red Dead
It
Redemption.
was like an intervention.
It's literally them saying, "Hey, by the way, this isn't Westworld. You
Yeah,
have to actually come and
exactly.
do. There's stories that we wrote.
Exactly.
They need
Exactly.
you to play these out.
Exactly
This isn't
right.
how you're not. It's almost like you're just running in circles because you don't know how to play the game. That's what they think has happened to you.
Well, I mean, they're not a million miles off. So I've got a couple of cowboy jokes for you.
Okay, great. I love a cowboy joke.
One is two cowboys.
Yep.
Maybe they're in a relationship, maybe they're holding hands, but they're in a town,
Okay.
and one of them is saying, "It's nice to finally find a town that's big enough for the both of us."
That's beautiful. I love that.
Maybe they're in love.
Are they holding hands?
I don't know. I'd like them in love. Can they be in love?
Is it a bit Ang Lee? Is it?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Or the other one, which was two cowboys on a horse.
Yep.
And one of them is saying, "This horse isn't big enough for two of us."
I like the first one.
Yeah, I think the
first
first
one
one's
really hit
better.
me. That's really nice. I think also last week we kind of touched. It was just by accident. We were talking about the fact that there's several things depending on which country you're in, but EOD or EOB is a thing. And having a sheriff come and say, "I want you out of this town by EOD today."
That's great. That's great.
Do you reckon?
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
got some
yeah, yeah,
legs?
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
just a guy on the porch go, "All right."
Yeah.
I was gonna do like a whole posse, but I thought it's better if it's just the sheriff.
Just the sheriff. Yeah.
Because he would be the one
Yeah.
saying, because it's always sundown, isn't it?
Sundown.
I need you
Yeah,
out of
that's
this
right.
by sundown,
Yeah.
but EOD.
Yeah.
Now, EOB, EOD,
I say
COB,
EOD.
EOD. I think I put EOB. I'll change it to EOD.
Yeah.
Because is that the US standard?
Yeah.
That's what we
yeah,
would
yeah,
EOD.
yeah. EOD.
Okay, great. All right. That's
Would
what we
be
do.
that's my vote.
Yeah,
But
okay. All
she'll
right.
she'll
I'll ask the
change
editor.
it. No,
The editors
yeah.
will change it, yeah. All right.
A guy at a car dealership talking to the salesman saying,
Classic.
"I'm after something that tells people I'm awful, but worried about the environment."
It's like a really big hybrid.
Well, I don't know. I was thinking Tesla, like.
Yeah, Tesla. There's a Tesla dealership out in Red Hook, by the way. It's a very odd mix of people.
I like
out there.
the like. Have you been to a stadium lately?
Yeah.
There's some stadiums you can go buy. Like, if you go there and think, "Oh shit, I haven't got a car. I'll buy a BMW."
Just grab a Beamer. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think like MSG.
What time's the
and-
game start? I don't know. Oh, I should buy a $30,000 watch.
Oh,
but can you bring it to the barber? Because I've got a haircut at quarter time.
Do you guys? What do you want? Coke, Heineken,
Yeah.
Tesla. Okay, yeah,
So,
no, I'll be
yeah.
right back. Be right back. Do you want the coupe or the? All right, yeah, cool. Sorry, I'm trying to give them up.
That's got to be the easiest job in the world, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Manning the Rolex watch at Barclays
Come
Centre.
on.
Yeah.
But what location? I mean, that's is that?
That's the classic example of, you always hear like the date going, "I don't know what he was thinking, but he went and bought a Breitling watch on the way out." Like, this is impressing me. I don't even like hockey.
That's pretty funny, actually. There's
so-
something in that.
This one I think I kind of like the caption, but I don't know about where it is. It's
Okay.
like
All right,
a
we can play around with it.
boardroom or a courtroom setting. Like after a scandal in the boardroom, and the chairman of the board is sitting at the head of the table, and he or she is saying, "Well, the important thing is that nobody learnt anything."
That is really good.
You know,
Like
'Cause that's
after
what,
a crisis
that's what
meeting.
always seems to happen.
Yeah.
After some, so it's good because
It's an
there's
all
some,
hands meeting.
there's some like sexual harassment thing happening where some
Right.
head of some studio had to stand down. You know, the person they're replacing him with has just as many skeletons in the closet.
Plays him with a priest.
Yeah.
It's it is a funny look. Just the whole the idea that there's like takeout stuff everywhere. Everyone's got like loosened ties.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean? There's
It's
a
been
PR
a
exec.
real crisis.
There's a new show with Anna. What's her name from True Blood? Anna Paquin, and it's called like Flack, and it's about that whole thing. Like every scandal that comes up, they're the like scandal warriors.
That's
They
a great
fix it.
idea. Oh yeah,
they're
yeah,
like
yeah.
fixers
Those
is what
PR
they
kind
are.
of type
Yeah,
people,
flag
right?
catchers, and it is an industry now. It is a thing because everything's a scandal now. Everything doesn't matter what it doesn't even have to be a scandal. It's a
Yeah,
scandal.
yeah.
Because some people can manufacture a scandal to get more press because it's cheaper. And
Jussie Smollett.
well, yeah, that didn't go well. But yeah,
Do you know
so,
what I was
some
thinking?
people do it well.
Well, the thing I was thinking is it's kind of the worst thing for him in this whole thing
Mm.
is that he was essentially arrested for not being good at acting. Like, that's what he got done for. Like, even the police are like, listen, I'm no theater buff, but that's not, I didn't believe a second of that.
Can I also just posit that maybe it wasn't so much the acting as the writing?
The writing really annoyed me.
Yeah, having the MAGA guys go, hey, that's the guy from Empire.
Yeah,
they don't
they
watch
don't- yeah,
Empire.
yeah.
That's not what. Yeah, do a second take. Take another run at that script.
Speaking of which, so this I think you'll like this to
Okay.
draw it. It's kind of pun not intended, but it's a bit Ed Steedy.
Ooh,
So
I love an
it's
Ed
a
Steed.
beautiful, like almost like you know those like you know those coasters that used to be around like in the 60s and 70s, and they'd be of like famous racehorses, and they'd be
Sure.
almost, and they were always beautiful oil paintings of racehorses.
Yeah, like Far Lap and stuff.
Far Lap
totally.
and Secretariat.
I always
and
thought they were like Guinness commercials or something, but they
no,
weren't.
no,
They were
no,
a
no, no.
collection.
Actual like in your home
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah,
hard
yeah.
kind of coasters.
Right.
So there's a person maybe on one of them, or is it at like a trail camp or something? You know, where you go trail riding and
Sure.
stuff.
Yeah, I'm a cowboy.
Maybe it's a trail ride and no. Everyone's on the horses on the trail ride.
Okay.
And they're all beautifully drawn except for one which looks like it's been drawn by a toddler with its left hand.
Perfect.
And the friend is saying to the person that's on this horse, kind of having a troublesome time sitting on it, saying, "You had to choose the draft horse."
You idiot.
I know it's a pun, and I know it's just A to B, but the idea of it being like almost like a Renaissance
Yeah.
painting.
Oh, totally know what you mean.
Except, and even the horse like isn't even coloured in, like it's just dead space there, like
Yeah.
in the image.
Yeah. You had to draw the draft.
Yeah.
Now,
or,
is it?
or I'm afraid the only one we've got left is a draft horse. Like, I don't know, but I'm
So
thinking like
it's a-
Norman Rockwell scene.
Yeah.
Like,
I was just picturing
Yeah,
Rockwell
yeah.
style painting. Because of course I can paint like Norman Rockwell, but if it was like a painting of, and then you edited it to have one of them be the draft horse,
shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty funny, and that counts as parody. So, so it's in the grey area there. Yeah, no, I like that idea. Is it that it's drawn like a 6-year-old, or is that it's like just sketched in pencil, roughly in
look,
pencil?
this is your thing because
Because a draft is usually
the thing that makes me think about it is you do drafts. Like,
Yeah,
and
in
this is
pencil,
the
yeah,
thing
yeah.
that I had no idea about. Is
Right.
that you do warm ups.
Yeah. I do warm ups and sketches, but then also like drafts as well, just to kind of So maybe
I remember, and you always get suckered into the kind of tier 2 art gallery. We're showing Cezanne. You're like, this is all his warm ups.
Yeah.
I know what you're
That's
doing.
what the Da Vinci thing was at the Met last year. I got sucked into that. I was like, oh my god, this is going to be incredible. And then no, it was just some
Nary a helicopter or flying
No.
machine to be found.
sketchbooks, just sketchbooks. And then they did the same with Michelangelo the year before. I always get sucked into these things. But then again, the sketchbooks, you're like, well, it's a pretty old sketchbook.
And also, I mean, you were disappointed that none of the Ninja Turtles were there anyway.
Wait,
Yeah.
there were no, there were. Did you not see? Yeah.
This is my pick of the week.
Okay, Outback Steakhouse pick of the week.
This is the
Scott
Outback
Dooley.
Steakhouse pick of the week.
All right, come on.
So, it's Domino's, as in, Domino's. We
Not the
play the game
pizza.
of Domino's, not pizza, the tiles.
The little tile game.
With like World War II hats on, like, like the helmets with the mesh on the, or maybe, no, that's probably more
Now,
Vietnam.
what army? What war and what army?
Well, I'm thinking World War II.
Helmet buff.
Helmet, yeah.
German helmets are
No,
pointy.
not the pointy ones. Come on,
You
not
mean
the bad
the
guys.
Allies?
The Allies, Allied kind of helmets with
I
the
know
mesh.
the ones. Captain America.
There you go.
Sure.
So, and they're looking over a field
Mm-hmm.
of strewn dead. There's just dead dominoes.
But are they
dead
falling over?
dead dominoes
Yeah.
all around,
Yeah.
and one of them is obviously it's a general. Maybe he's got some stripes or something on his little domino outfit.
Yeah.
And one of them is clearly explaining to him what's happened. And he says, "Well, I heard Private Johnson say something about the floor being slippery. And next thing you know."
That's insane. Private Johnson. You've
Oh,
gone-
yeah, Jesus, that's a bit-
Private
yeah.
Johnson. Come on.
Yeah.
Where was your mind?
I
at?
don't know. Well, good.
That's great. I love any domino gag. There have been some domino gags in the New Yorker in the past.
Oh,
Nothing
really?
war based, interestingly enough. Although there is a war term, they're falling like dominoes. After certain German strongholds in Russia
that's right.
fell in World War II,
Yeah.
they would say they're falling like dominoes after a certain Russian army fought them back on the front. It's interesting also just to think how much of this transmits to the current generation. So wartime things used to be so it was just part of the vernacular, right? There are so many terms that are born of wartime, just like the parlance, right? And falling like a stack of dominoes. First of all, kids don't play dominoes anymore. People would know Domino's as a pizza brand, and then they think
domino
it's a
effect,
logo.
though, is still pretty. There was the Eisenhower
have to-
thing of how this
Right.
is how communism's going to end.
Precisely, the domino effect. And so dominoes became a metaphor way more prevalently than the game itself. Like, I didn't even know it was a game until I was like 15. Because so many people had talked about...
right.
Because it was like a computer game, and then it was a concept, and then a metaphor. One thing knocks over another. And then I was like, oh, wait, was that a game? How did it work? What was the game? It's like, turns out it wasn't... The stacking and falling thing wasn't part of the game.
No.
No, that was just something you did for fun.
Playing bones, baby.
Yeah. So, in the interest of pitching, this will be very interesting. I will pitch it. I love the idea. And it is an Outback Steakhouse pick of the week or an OBSHPOTW.
Who do you think you are, Amy Baker? Get the hell out of here.
Classic Baker.
Handbrake Baker?
And I'm going to pitch it to the big building and see what they say. That'll be very interesting.
Yeah.
Because that really straddles two generations, I think. Yeah, I'm always interested with that stuff. I'm always interested in references.
I hadn't thought about that.
I think about it a lot. I just finished watching the Unwritten American History on Netflix. It goes all the way back to World War II, right up to 2012, 2013.
Oh, yeah.
It's very good. It's Oliver Stone, I think, did it. Yeah, it's very, very good. If you're a history or politics buff, it is pornography. Anyway, so that idea I had before.
Well, how
how skewed is it?
no, how porny is it? Like,
No, it's very detailed.
Chamberlain gave Hitler a hand job.
No, I mean it's unadulterated liberal propaganda, if I'm being honest.
Right.
But it's an untainted account of American history. It's not the one they learn in school. The very skewed thing that's
This
in the
ain't
syllabus.
your granddad's World War. Well, I mean, technically.
The very skewed kind of the Americans came in riding on their horse to save the world to end the war kind of story.
World War One.
Two.
Oh, two.
The bomb ended the war thing it's kind of not entirely true.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot more to it that they kept out of the syllabus.
Oh, really?
Because the story is not as good if you actually use the truth. No, and it's all just stuff that everyone else around the world, like in Australia and Britain and China,
it's always
everyone else
very
knows
funny
it.
hearing Americans talk about,
Yeah, because they just...
particularly World War One.
It's not their fault necessarily because they just that's what they were taught in
Yeah.
the syllabus because that is the canon. And then everyone else around the world was like, well, wait, did you not learn about the...
Well, also, to be fair,
Yeah.
I mean, winners do get to write.
That's kind of the entire point. Yeah. This is hence this series, which is by the way, a little bit extra info just in case you wanted to know it.
Yeah.
And it's pretty stark. I recommend it actually. It's very good. It's good hangover watching. I'll give you that. Okay, I was drawing a lot of beer bottles this week for drawing for work, and while I was drawing them, I drew up on someone else's time. While I was being paid to do something else, I drew a cartoon.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, hello.
Jesus, what a
Bloody rule breaker I am. What a renegade.
what a sexy rebel.
This is as rule breaky as I get, my friend. It's break glass in case of emergency.
Yeah.
Which you see everywhere now. It's a very old concept. There's a little hammer next to a red box with glass in it, and it's usually got a fire extinguisher or an axe.
Or a button sometimes.
Or
Just
a button sometimes, yeah. Sometimes a button that's a fire alarm. Except this one is break glass in case of emergency, and behind the glass is a glass of wine and a bottle of Chablis.
Oh, yeah.
And it's in a certain setting. Now, my mind immediately went to like a happy hour setting or like a stressed out mom or some kind of scenario where that's... Oh, no, just wait. If it gets too much, you've got this. but I didn't want to like make it too reductive. You know what I mean? I wanted it to
Yeah, or
actually-
mother-in-law's coming or something. Yeah,
I think that's what it was like. Mother-in-law's coming.
If it's
over-
mother-in-law, no, but if it is,
parents coming
if it is,
over.
I mean, that may as well be an anniversary card. You know, it's got to have a bit more of a wrinkle in it than just.
Yeah, that's what I was
That,
thinking.
yeah.
So that's the concept, and I'm just wondering in the scenario: is it parents coming around? Is it
I think it's election. The election.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Champagne.
In case of election, break glass.
That's pretty good. So
Or presidential debate or tweet or I don't,
my
it's a bit. That's a bit kind of
right A to
linear,
B.
but, you
yeah.
know.
See, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to avoid A to B because if you do say in case of X, break
well,
glass,
that whole thing is hinged. Yeah.
it's a different joke.
Yeah, you're right.
If you say in case of emergency and then you have to see what's behind the glass to get the joke, it's a different mental process. It's a different. You're reading it differently.
I mean, could it be the reflection of the person about to break the glass,
Yeah.
and then behind them is whatever?
That's
I mean,
not bad.
It's quite a visual.
Yeah. I want it to be quite visual. I love the idea that there's no caption.
You and your visual cartoons.
Me and my bloody visual cartoons.
I just say I should just write out a bunch of shit and cut out the middle, man. That's me.
You sound like every editor I've ever had.
Yeah,
Is it maybe, you know, when you're going to a dinner party and you're like, oh shit, we've got to bring something.
Oh yeah, that's not bad.
Is that in case of, dinner party, break glass?
Yeah.
Is there in case of emergency break glass, it's something specific. Anyway, maybe we can circle back to it, but the idea of it, because I've just, when you see something and then once you've seen it, you see it everywhere. I've been seeing these things everywhere. And some of them...
It's really interesting you say that because I'm sure, like, when you said, oh, you're seeing them around a lot, my first thing was, I'm not sure that I do, but I'm sure that now you've said it,
You're going to see them
everywhere.
That's what happened. I saw one, and then I was like, I don't think I've ever broken glass in my life.
No, I've
for
never.
an
No, that was my
emergency.
next thing.
I'm lucky, I suppose. I'm sure plenty of people have had to smash glass in case of emergency. But, and who's using the little hammer?
See, here's my problem.
Go on, tell me.
There could be flames licking at me, but I'd be like, is this really an emergency? It's more. I mean,
Define emergency.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not.
Should we?
Is there a giant catastrophic emergency happening? And then he's like, yeah, but I mean,
So, what if it's
subjective.
something? What if it's something insane, like it's just surrounded by zombies
and like a plane has crashed,
and he's
and
holding it like this is more a situation.
Maybe that's the joke. This is more a situation than an emergency.
yeah, than an emergency.
That's pretty good. Yeah, no, I like that angle. Yeah, that's taking it in a great direction. I love that. Just the absurdity. Like there's a plane that's crashed. There's zombies wandering
Ships
around.
running
There's a
around.
mushroom cloud in the background. the ground has opened up underneath.
There's flames going from under the ground.
This is more a situation. But everything else is destroyed
Or maybe
except the thing on the
Kerry,
wall.
would you say this is an emergency?
That's not okay. Yeah, would you call this an emergency or a situation?
That's not
That's
bad.
the joke. That's great. All right, we've done it again. All right, the next one.
Your move, dum dum. I love our secret word. Our secret war with Dum Dum
That's
Club.
pretty, I got him. All right, this is a bit silly. Your Red Dead Redemption while you're fishing thing got me going on this one. It's either a guy on a fishing expedition. It's like, it's been 15 hours. Whoever said there's plenty more fish in the sea was full of shit.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, I'd put full of it or something
Yeah.
equivalent. But it's just someone just sitting there, empty bucket. It's the sun has gone down.
Yeah,
It's 15. Not one fucking. Whoever said there's plenty more fish in the sea? There's a wedding ring discarded.
Wow.
After the sun. I want to build a story.
Yeah.
Here. There's something, and he's just this grizzled, like everyone said.
The one I was thinking of as well, like around this theme, was like the teach a man to fish. I'm sorry, can I just be very rude and just cut the podcast just very quickly?
We need to.
Hey, Ashka, do you want more wine? You sure? I've been thinking about the teach a man to fish thing.
Well, give a man a fish and he'll eat for a knife.
Yeah.
Teach a man to fish and he'll never
I don't know. Again, we're getting into like I feel like that's kind of bumper sticker territory.
Well, no, it's an old saying, and they do count as tropes, I guess. But how many people?
I think
is
there's
it
plenty
old?
more
Is it too
fish in
old?
the sea. Because did we have the idea of the broken-hearted fish being told there's plenty more humans on land?
Yeah, we did. We pitched
Or
that.
something like that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember the feedback was something about, we get tons of these.
Yeah, it's not a very
There's plenty more fish in the sea. What if? I mean, maybe it's a fishing boat with
could
an
it just
empty
be
net going.
plenty more fish in the sea. You know, maybe.
Is it telling a fisherman that? Is it telling a sea captain there's plenty more fish in the sea? And he's got a fish phobia. he's like fish phobic.
What if,
Plenty more fish in the sea.
what if it's a
Gotta stop dating
scientist? What if
fish.
it's a scientist going, no, there's not plenty more.
Statistically, there's more on land right now in restaurants.
Yeah.
That could be a thing. Yeah, there's plenty more fish in the sea. Not if I have anything to do with it.
Yeah.
That could be. Maybe it's like 2075, and
Go
there's
on.
no more fish left in the sea.
Right.
And that saying's like, wait, what are you nuts?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Plenty more fish in the sea. What was this? What's the sea? Like the oceans have dried up. It's apocalyptic. People are trying to. He's just broken up. He's like, don't worry, mate. There's plenty more fish in the sea. What was this?
What's a
the
fish?
sea?
What's a sea? Yeah.
What's a fish? Gotta stop dating.
But then you're
fish.
getting into. I think then you're getting into that kind of like.
Very literal silliness.
Yeah, and that kind
Yeah.
of like. I can't remember who. It's such an old like.
Yeah.
Mummy, what was a tree?
Right,
Well, I don't want to live in that
yeah.
world. Like, kind
Oh
of.
my god! Yeah, there's someone yelling at their car radio right now. Go, it's this. This is the joke.
Yeah.
By all means, send in the suggestion. Okay, Sophie and I we're playing chess. We play chess a lot now.
Sure.
Because we're old.
Well, I mean,
well,
look,
not
look.
old.
Sometimes arguing about money isn't enough to sustain a marriage. I mean,
Sometimes-
I know Oscar and I have been mixing up our arguments.
You have to, don't you?
Yeah.
You gotta keep
It
it.
can't always just be about bathroom towels and cash.
That's funny. That's some wedding advice. It can't always be about bathroom towels and cash, ladies and gentlemen.
Find some ways to spice up your arguments.
It's a best man speech if ever I heard one. So she wins every time. I taught her how to play, and she beats me. Her brain is wired for chess.
Right.
It's the worst mistake I've ever made in my life. She absolutely dominates. Then again, I'm not tremendous at it. So it's a chess master. Okay, and he's sitting in his lounge chair, very like maybe like a goatee, sort of receding hair, old Russian-looking gentleman, maybe a turtleneck and a blazer,
Yep.
sitting in an armchair. The wife or a partner of any kind is leaning in, and she's saying, "Yes, for the 100th time, I know you're the world chess champion, but that doesn't mean you can't wash a plate when you're done with it."
Oh, yeah.
Something that he's clearly keeps saying. I am
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
every chore is met with. Do you know who I am? I walked on the moon. Like it's that kind of level of. Well, now I don't have to do anything because I've walked on the moon. I'm the world chess. Maybe it's Gary Kasparov in an armchair.
Yeah.
Alternatively, it's
Weren't they all a bit nuts, those grand
Little bit.
masters?
Little bit, yeah. Kasparov ran for Russian. He actually ran for president in Russia and lost, but got a little way. Like got disturbingly close. Yeah.
And Fisher was nuts.
Everyone. They're all.
The only one that wasn't fucked up was Deep Blue, really.
And yeah, I'm pretty sure.
And even that got a virus.
Wow. At least Jay-Z named his kid after it. Chess store. We accept card, cash, or checkmate. No, okay, I'm sorry. That's terrible. That's really bad. I'm sorry.
Australian chess store.
Yeah. Aussie, checkmate.
Yeah, checkmate.
All right. I don't know what's going on with chess. Sophie went axe throwing, by the way, for team building.
Oh, I saw this.
Did you see this?
Yeah.
Sent you a video. She's
did. She looked
extraordinarily
terrifying.
between chess and axe throwing. She has other things to fall back on.
Speaking of this, we started watching Game of Thrones. I watched the first episode of Game of Thrones. It's good.
It's
Yeah, I
amazing.
liked it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You've
Because
got
I'm such a holdout for this shit. Like, I haven't seen
Total.
Avatar, I haven't seen Black Panther.
Sopranos,
I haven't
so-
seen...
You've seen the good stuff.
Well,
Breaking Bad, Sopranos.
no, I haven't seen Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad's pretty great.
Again, like, and
Yeah.
these aren't, like, there's no moral
No, it's
reason.
just
It's just
who
I
has
just
time.
haven't seen it.
Game of Thrones is going to be amazing. I envy you having. Not
Yeah, a
seen
few
it.
people have said that.
It's very good.
And I've heard friends say, like, our friend Roger was like, man, you've got to call, like, after you watch season 1, episode 9, you've got to call me. Yeah.
There's 3 different episodes.
Yeah,
I want you to
exactly.
call me
A
that.
few people have been like that.
Oh my god, the wedding. Oh my god. Anyway, team build. So it was a team building thing. Axe throwing was a team building exercise for in a banking company. I was thinking, is there something in team building and then team renovating, team extorting for unnecessary repairs, team delays because of bad weather, team inflated invoice, building. Building tropes.
Yeah.
Building. Have you ever built a house, or has your family ever built a house?
No, but I watch Grand Designs a lot. That's my
Grand
favorite.
Designs.
I
And what's the
love
one where
that
they
show.
flip houses? The house flipping one?
Oh, there's about 10 of them.
Yeah, I know.
The one with or without vanilla ice.
With, of course.
Oh, in that case, yeah.
I mean, come on. Is there any other? But there's so many, because everyone, I mean, obviously every show in Australia is about housing renovations. But it's housing renovations or cooking.
Or getting married.
Or getting married, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
They're the big 3. But yeah, something like building
actually, when
tropes.
you put it that way, it's really like
Mm.
50s
Totally.
housewife kind of.
It's-
All right,
it's
this
cooking.
is it. This is it. You're gonna meet your mate on The Bachelor.
Yeah.
Then
You're gonna buy a house.
Then you're gonna cook on MasterChef, and then if everything goes right, you'll buy a house. It's
But I
like
feel
these
like-
3 stages of life.
I feel like when you buy the house, you renovate the kitchen.
First thing.
Then you do the
And you get
MasterChef
Manu
thing.
and Pete in for dinner.
It's the block, right?
Is that
Yeah.
the no? That's the.
So, exactly. There's too many.
No, they're all the same.
Yeah, but they're the big 3. If there
Married
was
at First Sight's the other one that's really big in Australia.
Really?
Yeah.
no, wasn't there a scandal that they had they were actors?
The whole thing's a scandal. That's
Oh,
the whole
okay.
point of it.
Well,
Apparently, two of the couples swapped.
Jeez.
They're like, I'll marry her then. Yeah, all right. He sounds all right.
that is a scandal. Well, the important thing is we've learned nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, precisely.
Team building. There's something in team building and the absurdity of it.
Well,
a
if
team
everyone's
beating
doing-
extreme sport.
Yeah, or if someone's
building.
did Vikings have team building?
Oh, and did they throw axes?
Yeah, like
or
did
did
they throw axes, or did they go and do some data entry
Or
as their
maybe- yeah.
team building?
That's not
'Cause
bad.
it's so
Or
different.
Wine tasting. The actual thing, the work thing, axe throwing, and it's really popular, by the way. This axe throwing thing in Brooklyn, it's hard to get a booking. Everyone's trying to do this axe throwing thing. It's a big deal.
I feel like the term Brooklyn was redundant in that sentence.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
sorry.
we
I should
knew where it
goes
was.
without saying.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
definitely Brooklyn.
Yeah.
All
I mean,
right.
they've been doing axe throwing in the Bronx for a while, but it's been a bit more free range.
You know what's
There's no craft beer on sale.
Is there something in a Viking not liking anything that's not a craft beer? Because they always have those big tankards of ale.
Yes, yeah.
Like, is it an IPA? Because I don't like. Is it hoppy? Like a fussy Viking.
Yeah.
Like after they've pillaged and raped and plundered, do
It's-
they celebrate?
The problem is that there was a Bud Light ad that was very similar
Oh,
to
really?
that recently, where they've got that idiot
Spending too much time with ad agencies.
Yeah, exactly.
Good God. All right. This is a very Manhattan thing that I've noticed. When you go to like auditions or big buildings of any kind,
Yep.
you have to sign in.
Yep.
There's a book at the front, and you put your name and your company and the time you signed in.
Yep.
Sometimes it's digital on an iPad, but it's usually just a big list. They're not checking that. Very rarely do they actually.
It's like
check
customs
against-
forms.
Exactly. They're
What
not
goes
going
on
back
with
and
them?
checking.
They just throw them away.
Well,
Those little blue, which
Who
they've gotten rid
knows?
of eventually, but you still
Sure.
have them when you go into Australia. You still
yeah,
put
you
the
still.
yellow form.
I put. Do you know what? And each time they say occupation, I make something up. It's fun. It's gonna get me in trouble eventually, but I just make shit
I think
up.
you're pre-disastered for customs trouble. To
I
be
think
fair.
so.
Yeah.
I think hence the fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm a taxidermist. Who cares? Signing into buildings. You can literally put anything. You can put Michael Jackson, and they're not going to blink. They're going to change it. What
you might
if
struggle getting to FAO Schwartz, but go on.
joke of the episode? That was sparkling. That was beautiful. You can put in it. So signing into a building. What if it's like a big celebrity coming? Like at Comic-Con they have these signings like Stan
Yeah,
Lee,
okay. Yeah,
R.I.P. Like these big, and they charge like $150 for a signature on something. It's someone walking into the building and they're signing like. That'll be $150.
Oh, that's not bad.
Or like just like big sunglasses, big like celebrity looking Lady Gaga type going, and it's like, oh, just sign in. It's like, come on,
Yeah.
you can just ask me.
The-
Like, that kind of situation.
Yeah.
No, I don't need your signature. I need you to put your name in the. No.
Or if
listen.
it's Mickey Mouse and the person going, Can you be serious? Like,
Come
you know,
on.
like, yeah, no, don't be a
You write it
dickhead.
down.
Yeah.
Can you write it down for me?
Yeah.
I mean, is there also someone who clearly can't write names down? They're physically incapable of writing names down.
Oh.
I don't know. Maybe there's something in that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mm.
I know. I don't because the times that I've gone into those big buildings, like, you know, Rock or like 30 Rock or
Yeah.
World
Right,
Trade,
right, right.
World Trade or something. They've always got your name and they print it out and there's a picture and stuff.
Those ones,
kind of getting
those
a bit
ones are the
more-
upper echelon where they literally
Yeah,
take a photo
yeah.
of you and take your ID. But every other building in like the Flatiron District or whatever, they
Right,
just
right.
have you sign in at a certain time. And it's not, and they don't even. They're just not checking. They don't care. Those guys couldn't care less. And if someone did walk in with anything, they're like, oh, well, he put his name down. Oh, good. That
Yeah,
stops it.
yeah, yeah.
That's. I feel
Oh, so
safer
yeah,
already.
Yeah.
Good.
Listen, I know he came here to blow up the building, but I wouldn't. I'd be careful before accusing him of being a liar.
That's pretty good.
Let's come on. Let's not completely impugn this man's character. Yeah, he killed 12 of my colleagues.
Yeah. All right. I've got a bunch more, but we are running tight on time, so I'm going to go to suggestions if that's okay.
Yeah, do it.
All right. Let's do some suggestions. Robert Williams.
Yep.
Not Roberta Williams. Hi, fellas.
Oh wow, was that a little King's Quest reference?
Hello. Hi, fellas.
Not Robin. You didn't go with Robin. You went with Roberta. I think that sums you and I up pretty
Hello.
nicely.
Hi, fellas. I saw a poster on campus about a month ago for an improv clinic, and it got me
On
thinking.
campus. Wait a second.
Let's
Hey,
start.
don't you have an industry to be ruining, you millennial? I told you we've run out of like millennials have ruined.
Yeah.
Millennials are ruining articles because they've ruined everything already.
Yeah.
Because they've run out of things for millennials to ruin. Do you know what they had the other day?
What?
Millennials are ruining the sundial industry. And the complaint was like, not enough millennials are interested in learning the ancient craft of making sundials. Fucking layabouts.
They're disrupting the sundial industry. No. Oh my God.
And I know that the person that wrote that article was 25.
Easily.
So they were like,
Oh
and
my
their
God.
editor goes, this sounds like a hot lead. And
my
you can
God.
hear her opening up her laptop going,
What have we got left?
in another blow to the ancient art of telling the time using the sun.
Oh my God.
Yeah, sorry. I'm
We're
sorry.
all going to die.
I'm
We're
sorry
at peak civilization is what we're at.
I'm sorry to cut you off there,
Oh, that was
Robert.
great. Good one. So I saw it. saw a camera. You just go on these tangents.
Yeah, I
This
know.
is your
Yeah,
wonderful
that's my
brain.
life.
Saw a poster on campus about a month ago for an improv clinic, and it got me thinking, is there something in this?
Wait, sorry, can I just say, once you said improv clinic, Luke Heggie felt like 1,000 people had walked over his grave. There's something.
He got a shiver, and he's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
What just happened?
Our children aren't safe.
Honey, put the kids to bed. I've got to go outside. He puts on a Rambo
Just,
style.
just gets a pair of bolt cutters and just starts riding around his neighborhood.
Classic Heggie reference.
Also,
there.
he's touring at the moment. Definitely go and see.
Oh yeah, check out Luke
very,
Heggie
very good.
Australia if
Yeah.
you're listening. Comedy
He's doing all the
festivals.
festivals. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, so there's something in this. A doctor and a patient in the aforementioned improv clinic. The doctor's saying, "I'm afraid you can't yes and your way out of this tumor, Jeremy."
Oh, I don't mind that.
Jeremy.
I don't mind that.
It needs some work, but I've been turning it around in my noggin for a while, and now it's your problem.
Yeah.
Thanks for the laughs.
Robert,
Thanks, Robert.
one of us.
One of us. Nicely
I
done,
really
Robert.
do like that.
Improv clinic. Yeah, because is it a free improv clinic? Because you know how like there's a free whatever clinic. You see them all over the place. You know, like a dental clinic, an HIV clinic.
What if it's like the doctor is going, yes, and cancer?
That's amazing. That's amazing. Wow.
So they've obviously said like, is it HIV? Yes, and cancer.
We've talked about this before. Many times we'll come up with shit that we have to do just to get it out of our brains. You're probably going to see this on the Facebook page. Facebook.com/It's It
You just
podcast.
burped directly into the
Just
microphone.
burp directly into the microphone. You're welcome. it is one of the great joys that not everything has to go to the New Yorker. We can just draw it for ourselves. And that, my friend, is going to come into reality.
That's a great joke. Robert.
Thank you, Robert Williams. That was wonderful.
Yeah.
What a suggestion. We're off to the races.
Yeah.
Tim Burns says, hey, guys, long-time listener, first-time caller, part-time jet ski instructor. Is there something in this?
Listen, I'm just going to say,
We'll do
Tim,
the jokes, mate.
no, I'm going to say that is one of those jokes that every time I hear it,
Yeah.
I think it's funny.
It is
every
funny.
time I hear it, I like the person that said it.
I hate that I
more.
laughed so much at it.
It's always good. Sorry. That's just,
Is there something in this? In reference to the Facebook outage today. Now, this came about a week ago.
Yep.
A moody-looking teenager has pulled out a photo album and is handwriting underneath the photos and drawing thumbs on them. An angry mother looks over their shoulder saying, "What the hell are you doing?" Teen replies, "Well, okay, now Tim."
This is a bit panely, but go on.
Panely, but all right. It says, "Just analoguing into my Facebook." Analoguing.
Oh, yeah,
Obviously
it's
needs a
not
bit of work, but
bad.
that's why you're the comedians and I'm the part-time jet ski instructor. Cheers, Tim.
Wow, you can't even land that as a full-time gig. Tim, we need to talk. Tim, you should listen to our careers podcast.
Yeah.
It's called Don't Be a Dummy.
It's called Actor, Entrepreneur, and Healer.
Healer. That's so good.
We did do a joke about Facebook.
Did we pitch it?
We did pitch it. Twice, in fact, we pitched it, and I drew it up and sent it.
Which one was it?
It was the one saying, calling the aunt, saying, Facebook's out, Aunt Doris. You might have to tell me your racist conspiracy theories over the phone.
That's right.
It was a little bit more eloquent than that. I'm just paraphrasing.
Hi, Aunt Jean. Facebook's down, so you're going to have to tell me your racist conspiracy theories over the phone. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think is great. It's pretty solid. But I feel like it's almost
we
an
pitch it?
evergreen. We did pitch it. We pitched it 2 days in a row.
Oh.
Yeah. But no dice. Such is the life of a cartoonist, I'm afraid. But yeah, I feel like it's almost an evergreen in some sense. Because
I think
Facebook,
it's more a batch joke than a daily.
maybe it is. Yeah, I'll just put it in the batch then.
Speaking of a daily, we've got March Madness, the basketball thing.
Now, I was asking some American friends the other day, explain as adeptly as you can to me March Madness, because I'm a baseball guy, I'm not a basketball guy.
So it's a college basketball thing.
Okay.
Where
Why is there madness?
So it's because this entire tournament is... So the teams play throughout the season in their respective conferences. Then they're seeded, and then they're all put into this tournament. So you've got to qualify for the tournament to go and represent your conference.
Yeah.
And then they all play against each other.
Yeah.
And it goes down... It's like a tennis tournament. You lose, you're out.
Oh, right. So there's a top seed.
It starts with, I think, 64 teams.
Jesus,
and then it
that's
goes
madness.
down to 32. And it all happens in like 2 weeks. So they're playing 4 games of basketball.
Every night?
So it goes. So when it whittles down, it's the Sweet 16, the Elite 8, the Final 4, and then the championship game.
And how long does this takes place in a month?
Less than a month. I think it's like 2.5, 3 weeks. It's starting now. Like it's just starting. So it's going to be something that everyone's talking about. But so I had this of. Do you remember we did the World Cup joke of the guys in the bar?
Yeah.
All the football stuff, and it said,
can't
"I'm
wait
going to
to-
miss pretending to care about this."
Yeah.
So I had a similar joke, which is a guy kind of talking to his buddy. Of all the tournaments in the world, this is my favorite to pretend knowing something about.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that very much.
Because everyone,
That's good.
everyone becomes it's the Olympic diving of basketball. Everyone's
Everyone's an expert.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know what? When you guys, I went to the pub with you boys during the football. And
The
you and your
NFL.
mates. Yeah, the NFL. I know nothing about the NFL, and I was kind of learning it as I went. Not college football, like major football. And
Cincinnati Bengals, baby. Got rid of Vontaze Perfect today.
All right.
Our thoughts are with him and his parole officer.
See, this is the soap opera that is football. But everyone was an expert. Like down to your mate it was almost like he was an FBI. He'd been on this
Roger?
case. No, not Roger.
Kim? Joel?
Joel.
Oh, yeah, Joel,
is
yeah.
like an FBI agent who's been on this case his whole life and he's just been trying to crack it. He knows so much detail about his team.
Do you know what Joel does?
He's an art gallery guy.
He puts
A
on
curator.
the most insane, expensive, like high-end art things in the world.
Yeah.
He had a thing where he was like talking to, like Kanye West was trying to get in touch with one of his artists, and he was
God.
like running interference.
Wow.
But then,
You're
when
like-
he's like the most like high art,
Yeah, yeah,
beautiful
yeah.
food and expensive restaurants and stuff. But then when it
then-
comes to the football, he's like, if Brady doesn't throw a fucking seam route,
He's a Packers guy, right?
yeah,
The Green
he
Bay?
loves Packers. Yeah,
It's
he
insane.
goes
the
to
amount
games.
of detail.
Yeah. Love him.
I love it. By the way, Christopher Moriarty, when the New Yorker posted the cartoon that we did of Melania, the mocap Melania, a lot of people in Australia hadn't heard of it. They hadn't actually heard of the
Did you say,
story.
what's the name of this person?
Christopher Moriarty.
Oh, right.
Not the sworn enemy of Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
He said, I had no idea this was a thing. Thanks, Jason and Scott. Now I've gone deep into hashtag fake Melania territory. Turns out I got a lot of messages from Aussies going, what does this mean? I
Oh,
get
that's
it.
really interesting.
They had no idea. It's not a story there. It's not.
Because it must have happened at a time where it was like overnight, so it wasn't really
Sure.
trending. Like it was a
Yeah.
pure Twitter thing.
It was like a 12-hour hashtag that really did get a lot of traction. It was like the
Oh,
top trending thing.
Yeah, and like Trump
Addressed
referenced it.
Yeah, which puts paid to the fact that it's a thing. Anyway, all right. Last suggestion for this
Great.
week: Ros Margaret, long-time listener, second-time contributor.
Thanks, Ross. I like you.
Wonderful.
I like you more, Ross.
A picture
Not
of
as much as when you said first time. Here we are.
a picture of two grandstands. One grandstand is drawn as really pretentious. Not sure how.
Yeah.
And the
That sounds like a Chatfield problem,
yeah.
Ross.
And the other one, more humble looking, says, he's always taking himself too literally. I've thought about this so much that I don't know if it's funny anymore, and anymore is insinuating it was ever funny in the first place, which I don't know anymore either. I just really want it to be read out. Thanks, Ross. So grandstands, one standing next
Ross
to
has
another
been on
one.
fucking Shutter Island with this cartoon for the last 3 weeks, the poor thing.
It's been keeping her awake at night, staring at the ceiling. There's got to be something in this. There's got to be something in this. Unfortunately, Rose, I'm not sure, but we'll
she's
do
with
our
her
best.
kids going past the MCG. She just stares up every time. It consumes her.
She's just gone through East Melbourne every time she drives past. The grandstand. So we had a joke, I think, a couple of weeks. No, you had a suggestion, I think.
Talking bar.
Talking bar next to talking
Next
to a
to a
bodega,
bodega, yeah.
going something walked.
So these
into
two
me,
guys walked into me last night.
last night. That having physical giant buildings. Talking, anthropomorphizing buildings. It's a new one for me. I've not done it before. I do love drawing a building. Love a building. But
Will McPhail does it a bit with trees and things.
certainly does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does a good
And
tree
well,
joke.
yeah.
Certainly. And Ellis J. Rosen
Ellis as
does
well,
great.
yeah.
That's the Ellis J. Rosen mention for this week. I like to think that there's something in the stadium grandstand looking thing, although it's hard to capture it. It's hard to capture it in a cartoon.
What if the grandstand? Firstly, it's a very Australian term.
Oh, grandstanding isn't an American term?
Grandstand is like the grandstand is it's
Do
more.
they not use that term at
it's
MSG?
more. It's
or-
more. Well, no. So and
Oh.
it's. I don't even think the UK doesn't use it that much. They use the
Really?
terraces. Yeah.
This is interesting.
But what if it is? What if it is a stand?
Yeah.
But it's saying something about like immigration or something.
Yeah.
And someone is saying, "Oh, he's just grandstanding."
That could be it. That could be. This is
But I don't
Again,
think
it's not a
Roz, that we
term.
use grandstand in America
That's
as much.
very interesting. I
Because
didn't
it's
know
the
that.
bleachers.
Oh, the bleachers. The bleacher creatures.
in America.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe there's a bleacher creature joke for summer for baseball. I don't know about grandstanding.
It's
okay.
a bleacher creature.
Like 201, 203 over at Yankee Stadium. Or the guys who sit up at the bleachers every single game and they rehearse things to yell out throughout the week. And they're like, oh, this is going to kill on Friday night. Game 2. They just know. They rehearse. This is their whole life. They love it. Yankees.
This is the thing though
It's
with
a whole
Americans.
different thing.
Americans like, hey, yeah, so we practice some mean things to yell
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
outfield.
Yeah.
Whereas you go to England, they're like, all right, we've got a 12-verse hymn to the tune of "Onward, Christian Soldiers" about the goalkeeper's ex-wife.
All right,
All right, guys. And a 1 and a 2. She is a slut.
They're at that free improv clinic. It's a thing. The bleacher creature thing is definitely a thing. That's it. See, I'm really stuck on grandstanding now. There are terms, as you well know, when you're writing jokes here, that you use in your act during jokes or whatever, and then you find out way afterwards that that's not a term they use. I have 2 jokes that I had to change. One of them was that I was allergic to egg. Here they say eggs. You have to say eggs, plural.
Oh, yeah,
They
yeah,
don't
yeah.
say egg.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, really? You're allergic to one egg? And the other one, I had a joke.
Just one at a time.
Yeah. I had a joke about a jumper that was pilling. Like, it was this
Oh,
whole
yeah.
bit. And I did it at Dangerfield. I'm on at Dangerfields tonight, by the way. I did it at Dangerfields. And this guy, Chario, who's been there for 60 years. No shit, he's been there 60 years. This old guy. He, when I get off stage, he goes, "You fucking idiot. It's a sweater." he's a real nice
sweater.
dude.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you've told us about
Everyone
this guy.
thinks that you're talking about a guy jumping off a fucking building, you piece of shit. He's a really nice guy. Yeah, so he informed me that if I ever say jumper, I'm an idiot because it's someone who's committing suicide.
Yeah, as opposed to someone who's sweating.
Sure. That's a pretty big one.
That's a big one.
Sweater jumper. Yeah. Anyway, so thank you for sending in the suggestions.
Well,
You
it's
can
always
send
nice
them
to
in.
end on a suicide reference.
Always. That's just
That's how we try to do it.
de rigueur. Send in your suggestions.
Yeah, suggestions too.
Facebook.com/It's It Podcast. Thank you.
I feel at this point the .com's redundant.
Yeah, I don't know. Facebook. What? Are you hitting Facebook and then getting a 401? What do you just put in Facebook/It's It Podcast? See how
So
that
welcoming.
goes.
We've gone from telling you where to go to now chastising you.
I'm very sorry. But thank you for listening. And please buy tickets to the live pod April 9th. We'd love to see you there. Grab some friends and come out. Grab a few drinks and watch us be silly with a big fancy guest.
Bye.